Tears of the Kingdom is good. Let's talk about it. Now, by the time this video is uploaded, Tears of the Kingdom will be out for about 2 weeks now, and I really haven't played the game much. All I've done is complete the Great Sky Islands, and then I recorded my straight to Ganondorf video. So don't worry, there won't be any spoiler talk in this, even though I did go straight to Ganon. I'm still not gonna talk about any spoilers. So yeah, so what are my first impressions on Tears of the Kingdom now that I have played for just a little bit? It's good. I'm enjoying it. It's pleasantly surprised me, but not everything is perfect. I'm sorry, I hit my microphone. So quickly, I do want to have a quick disclaimer, guys, that I'm going to be getting into the nitty-gritty here. I'm going to talk about the small little details that probably won't be bothering most of you people, but I want to just get into all the little details. And if that annoys you about me complaining about tiny little things that don't really bother you at all, just a warning. And speaking of small little things that probably don't bother you, is title screens. So we're going to be talking about Tears of the Kingdom's title screen. Let's actually start off at the title screen. We'll work our way through the intro of the game, the Great Sky Islands, and so on. The Zelda series has a pretty good track record of having a lot of really great title screens, actually. Personally, my favorite ones being Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. But then Breath of the Wild happened, and Breath of the Wild title screen was trash. Don't get mad at me, it's the truth, you can't deny it, okay? There was absolutely no music at all, and then all there was in the background of the title screen was static images that transitioned between each other, like I'm watching a PowerPoint presentation. Before Tears of the Kingdom came out, I was like, man, I hope the title screen's better in Tears of the Kingdom, and is it? Yeah, it's better than Breath of the Wild's. That's not a hard thing to do, by the way. But it's still not great. Unfortunately, just like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom's title screen has absolutely no music. We heard some fantastic music in the trailers. I don't understand why it's not on the title screen. It would just add a lot of character. And also, the background, it's not too interesting. But the one thing it has going for is that it's actually animated a little bit. It's not just a static image. That at least gives it a little bit of character and life. Another thing I was disappointed about was that it uses the same sound effects as Breath of the Wild's title screen. You couldn't have at least given us some new sound effects to differentiate the games a little bit, because that was one of my big concerns about Tears of the Kingdom, was feeling too similar to Breath of the Wild. And the fact that they reuse sound effects doesn't really help. Alright, I promise the rest of the video won't be as negative as that, okay? We had to start off with a negative thing. Let's get into that intro. So the intro segment for Tears of the Kingdom was great. I thought they were going to do the same thing as Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild's intro segment, there really isn't one. You kind of just spawn right into the world, and they just throw you right out there, figure things out yourself. Tears of the Kingdom doesn't do that, which I like that it doesn't do that. I'm glad it's not repeating the same thing that Breath of the Wild did. There's actually some story build-up. Honestly, the biggest thing with Breath of the Wild that prevents it from being one of my favorite Zelda games was Breath of the Wild's weak story. I just thought the story was really boring. As I get older, I find stories in video games to be more and more important to me, because as I look back at these games I grew up playing, the thing that really sticks with me is the game's stories. I'm really hoping Tears of the Kingdom is much better, and I think the intro segment to Tears of the Kingdom did a good job at improving the story so far. I'm already more invested in Tears of the Kingdom story than I feel like I really ever was in Breath of the Wild. But guys, as great as Tears of the Kingdom's opening segment was, it's not all perfect. Nintendo, tell me why, in the year 2023, are we still including unskippable cutscenes into our video game? In the opening segment, there's this really cool cutscene where Link and Zelda encounter Ganondorf for the very first time. Sick cutscene, but why is it not skippable? Now, this is another thing that's small that probably won't bother most people, because you guys will start a new save file, or just start one save file, and never start another save file. They'll only play on that one save file and never start the game over again. Now, for somebody like me, who is in a unique position as a content creator, I am constantly starting new save files to do different types of videos, or if you're maybe like a speedrunner. I know speedrunners hate unskippable cutscenes. I just wish there was an option to skip the cutscene. I don't understand why we aren't having every cutscene be skippable in the year 2023. But alright, let's get back to the good things. The Great Sky Island. The Great Sky Island is great. I was worried about the Great Sky Island being just the Great Plateau all over again. While there is a lot of similarities between the two, but they're also very different. The Great Sky Island is much more linear in its progression. I like that. You may notice a pattern that my dislikes are when things are too similar to Breath of the Wild and I'm liking things that are different from Breath of the Wild. Well, that's because, I played Breath of the Wild for 6 years straight, and I just want Tears of the Kingdom to be, different. I don't want to feel like I'm playing the same game over and over and over again. I also like the visuals and the aesthetic of the Great Sky Island. Breath of the Wild was already one of the best looking games on the Switch, and Tears of the Kingdom is basically the same thing as Breath of the Wild, but maybe a little bit even better. I am a big fan of when games put you in non-earthly locations, which means basically a location that doesn't exist on Earth, and the floating sky islands with yellow trees and yellow grass that's nothing like anything you could see on Earth, and I think it's unique and cool, and I like it. So throughout this video, I've nitpicked about a lot of small, tiny details, but now it's time I say good things about some small details. Tears of the Kingdom introduces a lot of small, quality of life improvements that I love. The biggest one being when your inventory is full and you try and open up a chest with a weapon in it, instead of just closing the chest like in Breath of the Wild, forcing you to open up your menu, click on drop weapon, and reopen the chest, you can now just drop a weapon while Link is in the chest, and it saves time. It's so much convenient. I'm so happy they made this change, because this is the change I was actually pretty open about, and I've said a couple times in some of my older videos, so I'm very glad they fixed that issue. Another small detail I like is when you fast travel in Tears of the Kingdom, you can actually see a little map on the loading screen, and it actually shows like an animation of Link teleporting from the location he's currently standing at and to where he is teleporting to. It's just a small detail, but it's really cool and I like it. Another thing that I complained about in Breath of the Wild that lots of people complained about was weapon durability and breakable weapons. I know it's a hot topic. Now, thanks to the fuse mechanic in Tears of the Kingdom, that's basically been fixed. So far in my Tears of the Kingdom playthrough, it feels like the weapons are quite a lot more durable, and I haven't really had much of an issue with them breaking super fast. At least I don't feel like they're breaking super fast from what I've played so far. Alright, so let's get off of the Great Sky Islands and get down to Hyrule itself. What do I think about Hyrule? There's actually quite a lot more changes to Hyrule than what the trailers let on. As some of you may know, one of my biggest worries for Tears of the Kingdom was the reuse of the same world that Breath of the Wild uses. My favorite thing about Breath of the Wild was exploring the world, and I was like, oh no, I've already explored this world. It's not going to be as fun to explore a second time in Tears of the Kingdom, but with my time spent on Hyrule, there's a lot more changes than what I thought there would be. While I still would have preferred a brand new world to explore, I cannot deny it is fun to go back to locations you have previously explored in Breath of the Wild and seeing all the new changes in Tears of the Kingdom. It is a fun thing to do. One last thing to say about Hyrule before we move on to the depths is I went to Hyrule Castle during my Straight to Ganon video, and there's a brand new song that plays there. So I really like that because I saw some clips and stuff online of certain locations using the same exact music in Tears of the Kingdom that it had in Breath of the Wild, and I thought that was kind of unfortunate. Why couldn't they just at least remixed it? These small little things that make the games feel different go a long way, I feel, and reusing the same music and sound effects, I don't really like. But the depths, the underground caves, guys, it is awesome. It's cool. It's huge. Like, what the heck? In the entire, marketing of Tears of the Kingdom was so focused on these sky islands. We were so unsure if there was even gonna be an underground area. I remember there was so much speculation, is there gonna be underground? Is there not gonna be underground? And it's huge. It's even bigger than the Sky Islands. And in the time that I spent down there, it is spooky and scary, which is awesome. I feel like I was playing a horror game. There's all these crazy monsters and this gloom going on. Awesome. Like I said, I complained about them reusing the same world, but if you could like combine the Sky Islands and the underground, there's just so much there. There's like an entire new world, the same size of Breath of the Wild's world, on top of the Breath of the Wild world. So like, it's like the map doubled in size essentially, and I'm very happy that there is a lot down in the underground. But what do you guys think about Tears of the Kingdom? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you guys agree with me? Disagree with me on things? You guys know I'm always down in the comment section talking to you. That'll be doing it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. My name is Mr. Nice Guy, and I will talk to you later. Shoutouts to Ashton, Alistair, Allison, Arrow, Who, Jessica, Nintendo Boy, Plays for Fun, Question Mark, Your Favorite Idiot, Goldie, Odd, Jammy, Sada, Redskate, Velvet, Finn, Quinn, Cheese, Greg Game, Neve, Tristan, Darth Noodle, Puffy Deer, Melissa, Ketchup, Happy Sammer, Aiden, Overweight Possum, Brooke, and Lauren for supporting my Patreon or being a member on my channel.